What is up, everybody? It's your boys Gina and Juice back at it again. What's up? We got Michael Alvarez in the chat. Can you please give me a shout out? You got it. What's up, buddy? How are you? We'll give it a little bit. Let everybody wiggle on in here.
Lobster boy.
Lobster boy.
And Jon Snow. Noel's been waiting here since the AM, I heard.
Yeah, he's been here a while.
Ooh, David's here. He says, "What's up, cutie?" But I don't know who he's talking to. You or me?
No, you 100%. Davey, what up?
What up?
Yo, shout out Kevin. What up there? Marky, hello.
Hi. Michael G's got a good question. We'll definitely be talking about that on today's show for sure.
Yep. So, to talk about, to bring it up, and it's the topic right now. And that topic is, let me get a nice little banner up there so everybody can see it. So it's basically smart buyers winning. Big weekend for sports cards. Let's talk about it a little bit. So reason why we are basically saying smart buyers are winning and that it was a big weekend was the Dallas Card Show. So the Dallas Card Show was this past weekend, and a lot of the vendors stated that it was good overall. They saw a lot of health in the hobby, a lot of people buying cards, a lot of people trading. But the buyers were a little bit smarter, which means, in my opinion, that it was a little bit more focused on those rarer autos, those GOATs of every sport, those numbered parallels instead of just the normal silvers or normal prism cards, what is out there and so forth. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of what we want to talk about today. And we want to get you guys' opinion. So Drew, any opening comments to that?
It'll be interesting to see. Definitely whenever there's a market where there's a pullback, a dip, where everyone's panicking, talking about the market's crashing, everything's going to zero, is a time where you need to be smart about how you're spending your money, because you can come across some incredible deals that you might not be aware of if you're not cognizant of the marketplace. So you definitely got to keep your eyes open, be willing to deal, and just shoot offers to people. Worst they're going to do is say no.
Yep. And about 2 weeks ago, we had a conversation, an open mic conversation about, is the hobby crashing or is there a correction? I think it's more of a correction. Obviously, we've talked about there could be a recession on the way. It looks like there will be, but that's not necessarily saying that it's going to be, the end all for collectibles in general. I think now it's just everybody that's involved is getting smarter. They are understanding, they're slowing down. They're just not making purchases randomly. They're doing a little bit more education. And that's kind of where you have to start. So let's go ahead and bring up some questions. We'll start with Michael G right here. Hey, what b-ball and football players are you guys investing in actively right now? Well, quarterbacks. I think, again, for football, it's always about the quarterbacks. You have to be wise here, because this is where you're playing the risk game. Do you go after the Tom Brady's of the world that are potentially going to go up in value, and can you get them at a good deal? Because right now the market might be soft, quotations up there, and the price might be down a little bit. Do you gamble on the Mac Jones of the world, where a lot of people think he might be a little overrated, that he's not worth the value? Do you take a chance on all the football experts? Like there was an ESPN article I think came out today where they're talking about the Jets and how the Jets could have a season just like the Bengals, a breakout season. So this is, it's hard to tell. Me personally, I think Justin Herbert's always a solid buy right now. I believe in Justin Herbert. I got some of his cards. I've been pulling a lot of his autos, so I've been getting lucky. So it's more of me investing in Justin Herbert out of pure luck, more than actually putting money behind it. Drew, what do you think about football or b-ball?
Well, obviously, football quarterbacks are always a good play, safe place to play. Right now, I'm debating on whether I want to stick to more like the blue chip stocks of players. So try to find maybe a good Tom Brady, maybe Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, maybe cards like that versus maybe the more, rookie quarterbacks who still have years to prove themselves. And I think same with basketball. I'm not sure about this previous draft class and this upcoming draft class. If it might be, I might take a few gambles here and there, but again, I'm looking to maybe shift my focus to maybe the more veteran players and the more proven players for cards, because I can see like LeBron James cards have dropped substantially in price. And, people will always debate whether he's the GOAT or not. But aside from all of those, discussions, he's still a great player and he's proven himself with his stats. So it might be a good chance to pick up some of his cards to add to the collection. So I might be shifting my focus a little bit more on the blue chip players versus the gamble players, which are some of the new rookies. And LaMelo's proven himself and things like that. So I might mix it up, but majority focused on the veterans for me a little bit.
There you go. Kevin out here saying people dropping prices like crazy in a panic. I have cleaned up big time. Inflation, the capitalist America. It comes in waves and people need to learn how to ride it. This is true. In the sense of, picking up in a panic, people changing prices like crazy. I think you have to be, smart. It's kind of the conversation that we're talking about. You have to identify a chance to take a risk. Sometimes being smart and risking are the same things. But again, at the same time too, it's okay to be cautious. You don't want to really gamble. You don't want to really be in this if you don't have the funds to actually do it. The people that are panicking are the individuals that put a lot of money into it, that didn't have, that probably put up things that they shouldn't have, like a mortgage on their house, got a loan, sold a bunch of stuff, and they put a ton of money cards and they need the value out of it. Don't be that individual. Take calculated risk.
Yeah. Don't right now. You got to just always remember, you should see a normal growth of a couple percentage points per year on your investment. So when you buy the sports cards, you got to just have the mindset, am I going to be a flipper? Buy this card now, flip it in a couple weeks and maybe a month, before the season starts, or are you going to be a long-term investor? Are you going to buy a card and you got to be willing, if you're going to be long-term, to buy it and hold it for 5 years, 10 years. You got to be willing to
ride the ride.
Take that. Yeah, you got to ride the wave. So you got to kind of distinguish yourself where you want to be in this collecting market. Are you trying to be a flipper? Then you might, have a different mindset when you go into looking for cards and trying to find deals, versus are you going to be like a long-term investor?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, here we go. Juice looking like Rudy Alpha Investments if he let himself go. Damn, people coming after me today. What's up, my boys? Gin and Juice. What's up?
Yo, Kyle. What's up?
All right, here we go. Mac Jones came back stacked for this year. I'm not a huge Pats fan, but all he can do is go up. Really interesting. You don't see a sophomore slump, or if he doesn't have a sophomore slump, do you see him having one? Maybe.
I think Mac Jones is a prime example of a person who might do well with the Belichick system. I think he is going to be able to listen a little bit better to what Belichick might say and have plans for him and develop him into that system. So we'll have to see how it goes. But
Yeah.
I think he's a lot better of a quarterback to mold.
There we go. I think collectors and people within the hobby are not leaving the hobby. They're just going to be more thrifty. Correct. I think cards are a good and cheap option hobby during the inflation. Agreed. What do you guys think about the Saints this year? I think if Drew Brees comes back, like the rumor is, with them getting Odell Beckham Jr., don't they have like Michael Thomas, and aren't they getting Jarvis Landry or have Jarvis Landry? I mean, their offense is stacked. So, that's a strong possibility if he comes back. That could be dangerous, but they're in the same division as Tom Brady and the Bucs, so you already know how that goes. Here's a good one. Are you guys buying F1? Drew, I'll let you handle that 100% there, bud.
I'm not buying specific cards right now. I'm just opening product of Formula One. And I keep my eyes out for obviously the big drivers that I'm looking for, but for the most part I do like the chase, so I do like to open the product. But I think F1 is a good place to potentially look at for investing and getting into, if that's something you're interested in. I highly advise, if you want to do anything else, it's like enjoy the sport and then get into the collecting and the investing side of things. Like don't just do it just because you see like these crazy card prices. And if you do want to do it that way, then actively study and get to know the products, the drivers, who you're looking for, and all of that. So, but I mean, I keep my eyes open for F1 always.
All right, let's see here. Oh, here we go. For me, I've been investing in Tyrese Maxey cars and a few autos too. Buddy, Tyrese Maxey, in my opinion, is not too bad. Dude Luck says
sell it all. And he's willing to buy it all. So sell to him.
I think Tyrese Maxey is a little underrated. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player long term, but I'm a little biased as being a 76ers fan and having Tyrese Maxey cards. So
no, I agree with
every time we talk about a player that we really like, people think we're hyping up a card. So
I mean, I'll be honest with you, right? The first time Tyrese Maxey was on the court, you were very skeptical about him as a rookie player taking up an important position. You were like, I don't know if this guy can handle that pressure and all of that, but he proved himself, and you've changed your mind on it. So I mean,
I'm a Maxey believer.
Now we hope that he has an extensive career because he's proven himself. But I mean, we see a lot more upside than downside on him. So
yeah. Oh, here's a good one. Retail and base from 2020 will never recover. It's officially junk now. Maybe in 40 years, when everyone forgets, you can dump some of it off. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. First off, you're right. I mean, this in the sense of 2020 has the most graded cards of any, like 2020 Prism football and 2020 or 2019, 2020 basketball as the most graded cards of them all. That's absolutely ridiculous. And in the year 2020, it was crazy. So you're onto something there. But I think retail and base products, I think they're going to change a little bit of the dynamics, obviously, for years prior and for years after. I do think that little slice, that little section of 2020 is going to go to shit pretty quick.
Well, I think with everybody losing their licensing, I think it almost just feels like it's like a junk wax era where everybody is just printing as much product and trying to capitalize as much maximum profits as they can before they start to lose these licenses. So, I mean, you just have to pick and choose which products you want to buy.
Daniel says Kobe's rookie cards are very affordable right now. Agreed 100%. I know a couple of people in chat have already said that Daniel brought up a good point about Kobe's rookie cards being affordable. They really are. They took a dive. They were up high, and then they took a massive dive. So just be careful with Kobe. I don't understand why the interest for Kobe fluctuates so much.
I think there's a lot of speculation too, like, his documentary's coming out, or he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I think it was like before the Hall of Fame notice, I think everyone at the Dallas Card Show was having their Kobe cards out, but they weren't selling because they were hoping that his announcement, his induction would just boom, his prices would like double, triple, quadruple, and it didn't. And then people were like speculating about the documentary gonna come out, and that's gonna just drive his prices like crazy. So like MJ. So I think there was a lot of speculation at that point, and it didn't do exactly what everyone was expecting. So I think it might be a good time to look and see if you can get some affordable Kobe rookies.
There you go. There you go. Oh. Oh, here we go. I've been buying a lot of F1 cars, mainly Schumacher.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of prices will come down, and I think Mick was a gamble, and I think he might still be a good I think a long-term hold. I'm not sure if we're going to see a lot of his prices go up. Because, I mean, the Lewis Hamilton auto from Topps Chrome, I think just recently sold for like $1,300 or something like that. And it was like a $20,000, $30,000 card. People were speculating that PSA 1010 would be like a $50,000 card. But
oof, that's a little drop off. What about all the breakers all building new multi-million-dollar stores for the gold rush? I mean, I've seen a lot of breakers, expand. I mean, they have the money to do it. Hopefully they're doing everything right. But I mean, I think you're going to see a massive drop in the actual breakers. I think there's way too many breakers. It's way too saturated. The breakers that are good breakers, respectful to their customers, have good prices, and bring good energy are going to stay around. I don't think the breakers that are asses and overcharged drastically, I think they're being exposed at the moment. So I think they're going to.
A lot of those breakers have the very few whales that support them. So as long as they continue to buy, spend that kind of money, they'll still be around. But I mean, you got to think about it. Product is hard to get as it is now. So all of the breakers are going to be fighting for the same piece of pie. And the more breakers there are, the more difficult it becomes. So, I mean, you can break wherever you want to break, spend your money where you want to spend your money, but, just make sure they're all reputable people that you're spending your money with.
Exactly. Are you guys getting into Yu-Gi-Oh? I personally, if I could get like a Blue Eyes or something or something like that, that'd be kind of cool. But personally, probably not too much. I know you dabby a little bit in it, Drew. Not too much.
Might dabble in. I mean, I have some sealed product from recent stuff, but I'd probably be looking more towards the vintage stuff if I can open some packs from vintage. Metal Raiders first edition, Blue Eyes, LOB first edition packs, things like that. So I might have to hit up Win Condition to see if I can buy some packs from them.
A couple of interesting comments on the way, but here we'll go with this first one. Would you guys consider buying an auto jersey or auto ball product? So I'm assuming like you meant like buying jersey autos, like someone got an actual jersey and someone signed it, and then a baseball was signed. So I got a Ken Griffey Jr. signed baseball that I bought. And I got a couple jerseys that I have autos on of like Amari Stoudemire when I grew up. I got a couple like Steve Nash stuff, Phoenix Suns items, but I don't go out of my way to get them. I got like my Brian Dawkins helmet in the back signed, but it's very few and far between. I personally like the cards more than anything.
I think those memorabilias are kind of a niche item. So again, it's like a niche clientele that looks for autographed memorabilia. Like, I mean, I got a Zion autographed ball from a break. I mean, that was just from a break. I mean, I didn't actively go out and look to get the auto. So for me, cards are a lot easier to keep around than memorabilia. But then again, there's a lot of people who like memorabilia. So, to each their own cup of tea. But for us, it's just that cardboard with pictures of dudes on it.
Boom. Papa loves the insight. What's your opinion on collecting UFC cards, long-term investment? This is one of the biggest gambles out there. I don't think UFC enthusiasts understand sports cards yet. I still think there's a massive gap between them. And you need the enthusiasts to have the buy-in for the investment to actually be worth anything. Because even though now I'm into UFC in the sense of watching it more and try to understand and learn the fighters and the different fight styles and all the divisions and all the fighters out there, it's a lot, but it's piquing my interest. But for those enthusiasts, they have to get involved in the card game for those cards to be worth anything. Because if you're looking at it into investment, like Jen and I, we may think a card is cool, but at the end of the day, are we going to pay 10, 20, 30 grand for a particular card from a fighter? I don't know for sure. Can't answer that question. So in my world, in my thought process behind it, you have to have the enthusiasts really get behind the product first.
And it's very volatile, I think, compared to any other sport, because one loss could drastically change how a player is perceived in terms of he could be a champion one day and he could lose his championship the next. So unlike, football or other sports where you can lose one game and it's not really going to affect the person's card overall, unless, they tank the season, or, at the end of the season, it'll determine whether that player becomes a good player or not.
Facts. Here we go right here. This is a good one. Are y'all still buying Marvel? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of Marvel. And we're waiting for a couple of Marvel boxes to be released.
I mean, I picked up some royal foils and things like that. I got some at PSA grading, so I'm still actively looking and buying Marvel products.
I just got my Doctor Strange card graded. Fortunately, it came back a 9. You guys aren't supposed to know that yet because the video's dropping on Thursday. But there you go. That's one of those. But that card's still like $1,000 card. It's kind of cool, but I'm holding on to it. I think Marvel is a big deal. I think Marvel has a ton of room to grow, but I also like Marvel too. I read up on the comics every now and then. I used to have a ton of comics before I sold them all for Pokemon, believe it or not. But I'm slowly getting back into it. Obviously, love the films. The MCU is fantastic. And I just love opening up the product. It brings back a lot of childhood memories as well. Very nostalgic. But yeah, still buying Marvel. Oh yeah. Since it's been a talking point on ESPN, what's your Mount Rushmores of the NBA? I'll give you my Mount Rushmore of the NBA. And it's going to be kind of interesting because it's going to be my personal favorite players. It's not going to be who you think. So I'll give you mine and who I think is the best, the 4 best. How about that? So for me, it's going to be Amari Stoudemire, Allen Iverson, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan. I think those 4. Obviously, you have the 2 greatest players of all time. You have my hero growing up, and then you have Amari Stoudemire, which is another, I thought Amari was the bee's knees. 100% growing up, watching Amari, meeting Amari multiple times. Dude was insane. Drew, I don't know if you want to throw yours out there before I give my second one.
Obviously for me, it'd just be probably more recent players. Obviously like Kobe, LeBron, Curry, Jordan.
There you go.
For me, I didn't watch a lot of basketball growing up, so I can't really say, like you with the Iversons, with the, Stoudemire and things like that. So, I didn't watch them growing up and playing. So, for me, it's more new school than old school.
Oh, I'll give out mine. I don't know if it's going to be controversy or not, but
okay,
3 automatics on there. 3 automatics on there is going to be LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe. I think those 3 are absolutely phenomenal. I don't understand anybody that doesn't have Kobe in their top 10, top 5. It's questionable for top 3, but for me, Kobe's in the top 3. It's crazy. And then my 4th pick, I think it's going to cause a lot of controversy. He's Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was already one of the most dominating, if not the most dominant player ever in the NBA in the sense of strength and everything. And I know this is a what if, but imagine how much better he would be if he had better work ethic. He was already a monster, already arguably one of the greatest centers ever.
And then I don't try to bring up the arguments like, he wouldn't be the same player he was in today. You can't compare the game today and back then. So don't bring up that kind of argument. I know people are going to say oh, there's no way that he's going to do well. But the game has changed a lot since Shaq's days.
For sure. All right, let's see here. Let's get caught up. We're a little bit behind. A little bit behind. Oh, here we go. JW. I was talking to Isha earlier. Here we go. He asked you a question about Champions Path ETB Charizard promo. I don't know if you know about how many times that card's been graded. It's the pink one. So the full art pink one, it's been graded to and now it's like $110. It's probably going to go down to like $40.
Yeah, that's the problem with too many people grading it and then it becoming overly populated in the marketplace. So
yeah,
definitely, yeah, not
Yeah, stay away. Stay very, very far away. Oh, here we go. Are there any Marvel products worth going after that's coming out later?
Yes, Spider-Man, the Marvel Metal Spider-Man. Yep.
Mhm.
The reason for the delay we found out was because they're redoing the actual PMGs to look like the original OG PMGs, because apparently Upper Deck was not satisfied with how the PMGs came out. So they're redoing that, and hopefully that's the end of June. And then also end of June, probably Marvel's Beginnings, I think, is coming out then. So
that should be pretty fun too. That'll be a fun rip. And then your little jambalayas.
Yeah, they're doing a 2022 Fleer Ultra Avengers, which will have jambalayas in there and some interesting stuff. So definitely take a look.
I'm trying to get caught up, everybody. So I appreciate all the comments. Please pour them in. We'll try to go in order.
Yep. Ooh, vintage sports cards in there.
Yeah, I want to throw this one up. Vintage sports cards is just so unique. It's strange how their value continues to grow throughout the years. When I feel like there's no hype around it,
it's a different crowd of people, definitely, than who's in it. Yeah. And we're lucky that we have experts like Louisville Sports Cards. Chris and Kristen are definitely, they are hardcore into vintage baseball. And, obviously because they have a shop and they have to bring in the modern products and everything. But for them, their love and passion is vintage sports cards, which is kind of cool because when we go to shows with them, like the National, we get to see kind of like their vintage baseball collections. And I gotta say, vintage baseball, basketball, everything is very impressive, but it does require a lot of knowledge, just because there are people who try to fake things, who replicas, they try to add the wear and tear of it being vintage. So you do have to be careful, because they've done it for so long. They can look at a card and immediately tell you if it's fake or not. What you might think is real could be, they'll know right away. So I think it's a good investment, but you do have a big learning curve. And it's a different market of people too.
Yeah, 100%. I love you talking right now. So I'm going to throw up another one so you answer and get caught up on chat. There we go.
Oh, who's good to collect an F1? I don't know about soccer, but F1, obviously. I mean, main drivers. Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton are the mains. George Russell's good. Look at now. It's like a Sergio Perez. I mean, he's dominating with Red Bull. Charles Leclerc is doing well. So it's like there's a lot of good players now. I think this year shows a little bit less of the principals fighting, Red Bull versus Mercedes. And I think now it's more of a driver focused battle. So it's a little bit more exciting to watch it because it's more about driver skills and stuff rather than Red Bull complaining about Mercedes doing something to their car, or Mercedes complaining about something that Red Bull is doing. And, they're, bickering like little children about it and not letting their drivers really show it on the streets.
I just want to throw this up there. He's a fan of Iverson too. Let's go.
AI, baby.
Have any thoughts on action figures? Been noticing Star Wars taking off for a bit. I think action figures come in waves. It's whatever's popular at the moment. Star Wars is starting to be popular again, especially with Obi-Wan Kenobi's limited series coming out, and just the popularity of the Mandalorian. It's starting that niche of Star Wars talk again. So I think that's why you're seeing an increase in action figures. The same thing with like Batmans of the worlds and even some statues. They come in waves. They really do come in waves.
But things like that take a little bit more time to see, like increase in values and things like that.
Yeah, here we go. AI was my hero too. Let's go, John. Let's go, man. I'm trying to tell my son that AI was popular for that draft until Kobe started winning rings. 100%. Remember the rookie year crossing up MJ, hitting the shot over, right in the center of the key? That was beautiful. Oh, no. Devin Booker, first team All NBA, Supermax incoming. That's 100% correct. All right, let's see where we're at here. This is one of them I wanted to bring up right here. Boom. Anthony Davis is straight buy right now. He's a top 5 player when healthy. Crazy cheap rookie autos and Prism 2012. In my opinion, and this is me, I would never ever buy Anthony Davis. Once you're injury prone, you're always injury prone. You're always injury.
And he says it right there, man. He's top 5 player when healthy, and healthy is the key.
Unfortunately, when you get these injuries, these nagging injuries, it's going to continue to come up all the time. I just don't think he's going to ever be 100% healthy. I agree with you. He is one of the best players in the NBA when healthy. But again, we all know the healthy thing is the most part. I would stay away from Anthony Davis unless you want to take that chance, because again, part of this hobby is taking those chances. So if you're not spending a ton of money and you have some extra capital to spend, by all means, take the risk. But me, I am not buying Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I'm not touching AD.
But that was my little rant. Oh, here we go. Now people are throwing out this. Point guard, Magic Johnson. Shooting guard, Kobe. Watching MJ. That's fair. Small forward, LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Kareem. Okay.
Kareem, yeah. That's a good one. I like that.
Let's see here. Oh, here we go.
One day, you know what we should do? We should have our audience members bring in like their top 5 players for different positions, and then we should like rate them and what we think.
You guys want to get roasted? I am fair game with that. Let's do it. Jack Frost, what's the most underrated card you pulled that ended up being worth a crap ton? Ooh. I don't know about a crap ton, but all those times we pulled Jordan Poole cards and then all of a sudden they popping off. What else? I mean, there's been a handful of situations where that's kind of been placed. Sadiq Bey, for instance, he was popping off there for a little bit. I was able to make a little bit of money where I didn't think it was going to be or I didn't think it was going to actually happen the way I thought it would. There's probably not too many underrated cards that we've pulled that ended up being worth a ton. The only ones I can think of are those smaller guys like the Jordan Pooles of the world. You don't know how they're going to turn out, but we pulled plenty of those. Now, if like Jarrett Culver and all these other guys become insane superstars, we got plenty of those.
Yeah.
Plenty.
We'll be super rich.
Right.
We'll be one of the 1%ers.
Louisville Sports Card is the best card shop in Louisville. Agreed.
Louisville, yep.
Agreed.
Definitely agree.
Let's see here. Ooh. Just sold my rookie Mahomes for $700. I don't know if that was good or bad. I mean, was it graded? Was it not graded?
We have to see.
Oh, here's a good one. Did I just pass it? Boom, there it is.
Tua or Sal. That's a tough one. I'm leaning towards, for me, a sell. I know he's got all these weapons and stuff like that, but we'll just have to see. But I don't really see the potential, the long-term potential. But I could be wrong. But for me, it's a sell.
So I'm going to mix these two comments up here together for you, Jen. I want you to read on the screen. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
It said, y'all 420 friendly, Jen looks fried. And then it goes to, you just named every driver.
Hey, I just named 5 drivers.
So the two mixed together? I don't know. You guys, we'll leave it up to you.
But yeah, just those 5 drivers. I mean, there's like 20 drivers in F1. I just named 5. It's not all of them.
Some of the rookies are Juice Voice, Phony Baloney. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Oh, this card. See, look, this is another one.
Wayne Gretzky.
I think hockey is super underrated right now. And hockey is one of those sports that potentially have the chance of going up. I think you hold on the Wayne Gretzky autos right now.
Definitely hold.
Oh,
Ooh.
Juice. Here we go. Borrowed some money from Lady Luck and bought that F1 superfractor of Russell for like 800 or 900K. Did I? JW out here just
I
coming
hope he
after
did.
me.
I hope he did.
Did I don't know, maybe. Always coming after me.
He likes you.
It's all right. I love it. Other hobbies you guys collect? Do you guys do sneakers, pop figures, or anything else? Dennis, great question. I got some Jordans. I got some pops. I got
Same
some
here.
comics. I got some video games. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's a mixture of everything. I'm more, I guess I collect multiple different types of trading cards, trading card games, sports cards, things like that. I think Drew said same here.
Yeah, I do little sneakers and Funkos.
Uh-oh. And in that case, don't buy Zion as well, Juice. Ooh, Zion, you take the same thing and apply it to it. I think he's injury prone. I think Zion is going to have a career hopefully better than Anthony Davis, but once you're injury prone, you're injury prone. There's been very small areas where someone's got really injured and went on to have a very successful career. Prime examples, Steph Curry.
I was going to say, yeah. Did he
His
have ankle
ankles
issues?
Were jacked up this first couple of years. He had a ton of ankle surgeries. They thought about trading him. They did not want him at one point. And then all of a sudden he had his surgery, he got healthy, and he stayed healthy. So knock on wood, Steph Curry's ankles, they basically had been rebuilt, but he had some really bad ankles and his entire career could have changed. So Steph Curry is one for sure.
Definitely.
Oh, here we go. Jin is my hero. I'm all but sure you peer pressured him into putting Pokemon on the back burner. Wow, they don't know that you're the one that brought up sports.
Yeah, actually, I brought up the sports. I
saw
Pokemon going in the direction that I didn't really like, so I kind of was just like, "Hey, let's start to transition a little bit into sports because it was getting expensive and drama filled." So we were just like, "How about we start to incorporate a little bit of something else into it?"
So JW, you can go F yourself.
Yeah, you got to come after me. I ruined the channel by taking us away from Pokemon and getting us into 100% sports.
Hey, man, this guy making a clown of himself.
Juice is my hero.
Damn, but hey, I'm hooked on sports now. You can look. Jen and I had many conversations because I look at the data all the time, and I would blow up Jen at like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, buddy, this is how this video done. We spent this much money. This is what this video is doing. I don't know if it's going to sustain, but I don't want to move away from our audience. Let's sprinkle something in. Jen's like, perfect. I got a great idea. We tried these Michael Jordan packs.
Well, I told him, I was like, it's like, we started with Pokemon, but if we transition, I don't want to forget where our roots were. Like, I don't want to just be like, hey, thanks for building us up here. Now forget Pokemon and then go on to sports and forget like all the audience members. But Jen was like, look, Juice was like, look, it's all about adapting to the situation. If you can't adapt as the tides change, it's like evolution. You're just gonna die out. If you think you're gonna be stuck in one way and be tunnel visioned, then you're at the end of the day, you're not gonna live long. If you adapt, you gotta thrive and survive. So and it doesn't mean that we forget Pokemon, that we don't love Pokemon. I mean, like we're about to open some Astral Radiance, and we're gonna go hunting for some of those cards. I've been debating on whether to get. Yeah, we're going to Collecticon and stuff like that. So we still love the TCG side of things. It's just that our channel might be a little bit more focused on.
Hopefully, we get to a point where we get large enough to where you guys just like hanging out with us, like we're doing here, and we open up wherever the hell we want to open up. And I think that's kind of why we've been so loosely branded as well. We're Lootbox. We like to open up collectibles and so forth and be in the collecting hobby. I don't want to just identify as sports or anything else or Pokemon. I want to be able to do it all,
Check out Garrett's comment. Joe Burrow, buy, sell, hold.
All right, I'm going. Find it. Boom, boom, boom. Where is it at? Where is that? Going up.
Be
Jared.
right after Jin
Bam.
is my, yeah, there we go.
Joe Burrow, hold, sell, or buy. It depends on when you got the Joe Burrow. That's my take. It is all about when you got the Joe Burrow.
And then what do you think about his future? Do you think he's gonna be like a superstar quarterback, or you think he was just like a one-hit wonder?
So here's my take on it. You take Joe Burrow. Say you bought a $100 pack of Prison Football when it was $100 a pack. Say it was at that point, right? And you pulled a gold Joe Burrow auto, right? You have that gold Joe Burrow auto, and it grades a 9. Sound familiar, Jen?
With the 10 auto?
With the 10 auto.
Is
so
it
you have
number 9 out of 10?
Sure. And you have that auto. Your investment into that card is barely $100, maybe $200. Let's just say that for easy math. You have the ability to sell that card for $30,000. I think if you got that card early on and paid that amount, you better sell that card for $30,000 and take that profit, because the individuals that are buying Joe Burrow right now, and it's that type of card, they're spending the $30,000 and then hoping in 10 years they might get 10 or 15 grand for it, where you just made 30 grand on a card instead of trying to get 10 or 15 grand on a card. So by all means, it depends on where you started. That's when you have to learn to take profit. You have to take profit at some point. Don't sit here and think it can continue to go up. You have to understand you're making about 30 grand on a card. That card might actually go up to maybe 50 grand tops. Cool. You miss out on the 20 grand, but it could also crash and burn.
Yeah. So it all comes down to obviously when you buy it, but then your faith in that player. Do you think he's, gonna be at the end of his career a top 10 quarterback that you're gonna say like, oh God, remember like a Tom Brady, a Joe Burrow? Is he gonna be one of the names that everyone talks about or not? And if you don't think so, if you get good value for it, it might be a sell. But always sell before the season, like closer to the start of the season. Don't sell now.
Yeah.
Like off season is the worst time to sell for any sports.
Oh, who has the better collection in sports card values? I can tell you that our sports card collection values are a lot closer than Pokemon. Drew just dominates in Pokemon.
Because I kept all my shit sealed.
Yeah, and I opened up all my boxes.
Yeah.
And we got a channel, so one of us, unfortunately took the plunge. But Jen has opened up a ton of his stuff. I mean, it's an interesting dynamic. But Jen's Pokemon collection is God tier, in my opinion. He doesn't like to gloat about it, so I'll gloat for him. You guys can always download the collector app and take a look at Jen's collection because it's a public link. Ooh.
They gotta find a link first, though.
Hey, all they gotta do is go on the app, and I'll send it to everybody as long as they download the app. JWs, I'm yanking your chains. I know, man.
We know. We love
MetaZoo. What's your thought? So we're gonna have a MetaZoo video actually coming out on the channel. Hopefully in the next couple days. We just got to tweak a couple things. It was actually with the founder of MetaZoo, Michael. He's a great guy. He's talked about the hobby, talked about what they're trying to do with MetaZoo. I think his passion is a good thing. Overall, MetaZoo, it's too early to tell whether or not you're going to collect it or not, hold an investment and so forth. They originally came out and the public, the collectors attached themselves to it first. So it kind of gave off that perception that collecting, it was all about value and collecting so forth, but you can't really have a game without actually being loved and played throughout, many years. You can't just create a card game and it becomes valuable. How did it become valuable? So I think it's got some room to grow. I think it's interesting. I really do.
Definitely the interview did change my perspectives a little bit, just because how passionate Michael talks about MetaZoo and what his visions for MetaZoo are. So it definitely changed my opinion of what I thought about MetaZoo overall when I first heard about it and saw it versus actually talking to him and getting the details and his passion for it. So I definitely think, like you said, it's a little too early to tell, but I do like the mindset that Michael has behind MetaZoo.
Oh, here we go. I love this question.
Mm.
You guys believe in Mac Jones? Will he be the best quarterback from his draft class? I think Trevor Lawrence bounces back this year with Doug Peterson as the new head coach. Philip, I agree with you 100% on the Trevor Lawrence piece, and I think Mac Jones is garbage. Yep, I said it. I think you talk about hype. I think he's way overhyped for a mediocre quarterback on a mediocre team. I think they barely got in the playoffs. They did not perform well in the playoffs at all. And that defense was a lot better than their offense for damn sure. I'm not a believer in Mac Jones at all. I think Trevor Lawrence has the better mechanics. He's the better overall quarterback. And I do think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a good season with Doug Peterson. He's a quarterback's coach.
I feel like Mac Jones is in a place where he has a good system. So depending on how well he can follow that system, I think he may or may not be a good quarterback. But he's showing some potential. But would I actively chase his cards? Not right now. If I pulled it from a box, I'll keep it. But I'm not actively going to go search for and buy his autos and stuff like that.
Now remember, guys, Jen is a Tom Brady fan, which means he was a Boston Patriots fan for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
New England Patriots fan for a long time. So I'm just throwing that out there. Came to the channel as a Pokemon viewer, stayed because of the videos, regardless of what's being open. Thank you so much, Phil. I really appreciate it.
Love it.
If you guys get big enough, you plan to host your own card show. Actually, that would be kind of cool. I never really thought about it that way. I think we kind of talked about opening up our own shop at one point. But with the way things are going at the moment, it makes a little bit more sense to hold off. Let's see where things settle.
We might end up being sponsors for some shows, let's say the Atlanta show, with the Prism God over there, Raphael. We may talk and we may sponsor some things within the show, but we talked to him about planning that show, and he gets overwhelmed, and you need a team of people to set it up. So I don't know how he and his wife does it, but kudos to Raphael for always putting on these two past amazing shows. We're looking forward to his next one. But for us to do shows, maybe not, but we'll definitely be at shows and get booths when we can, and maybe sponsor something here and there. Yeah,
for sure. So here's a question. Eli wants to know, you guys buy all your boxes yourself or for people?
All ours.
Yeah, they're all ours. There is one more person. You guys know him as Dude Luck. He appears in the channel sometime. He's in a couple videos with us. It's Lady Luck's husband. He opens up some product when he feels the itch to get it, and he allows us to open them up. So there's technically 3 of us from time to time. But majority of everything that we open outside of those once in a while for Dude Luck are all ours. Everything that you see, all the money I have wasted on Prism basketball, all the money, the 75K video, I think we put $5,000 into it, which is cool. It was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're picking the winners next Tuesday, so that's going to be fun.
Right so here. Remember, we are not on Telegraph.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. For all of you guys, if you got a bot comment, I deleted all the bots. So let me tell you, that was a pain in my ass.
Yeah. But don't remember, we'll go through official channels to announce any winners or anything. We will never ask you to send us money, to send any type of information. We will reach out to you. We will let you know. So always be safe.
For sure. Here we go. In Germany, we had a big increase in new collectors. It feels like Topps is releasing too many soccer products now, and they have a delay of a lot of releases. Do you guys have similar experience in America? 100%. Football, basketball, not so much baseball, but football and basketball I've seen massive.
And that's more on the Panini side of things.
Not so much Topps for us. But I could see Topps overprinting soccer for sure. I mean, they're trying to take advantage of all collectibles across the board.
and especially things that then they can still maintain licensing on. So
here we go. How much more is player worn versus not officially? Ooh. This is a tough question because almost all the rookie cards never have player worn jerseys because of the way the product is being released. But those rookie cards, let's take that out of it and just talk about cards that are not rookies. You always want player worn cards should be worth more than from any game or event, hands down. Any thoughts on Hot Wheels? I know they're super collectible, but
it's something we don't know too much about.
Yeah.
So if we were going to do it, we would have to educate ourselves in that hobby before we delve into it.
100%. Oh, here we go. I bought Rebel Clash Gold Secret Rare Zamazenta PSA 10 for like $75. I'll make money on it. Hopefully.
Hope so.
I remember having
it's not our favorite set.
No, Rebel Trash.
Trash is what we called it.
Yeah. Oh man. Here we go. Opinion on pulling Panini points. It sucks. That's really what that is. And they charge $8 shipping to redeem. What? Yeah, I've never seen that. I mean, I had Panini points.
I think what he's saying is if you redeem those points, they still charge you shipping. So, like, if you go onto their store and you buy something with those points, I've never bought anything with points yet, but they might still charge you shipping.
You might be right. That is kind of a scam.
That is messed up. Yeah, I hate pulling points.
Yeah, same. Horrible. Any more hockey breaks coming? Maybe. Don't know for sure.
If we can find the right products. Like the cup was a fun one to rip, but I don't really know enough about hockey to open any of the other products. I do want to open a little bit more of the higher ends or go for some interesting players to hunt for.
Deal. So we're going to take a couple more questions. Obviously, this is more open Q&A talking about buying smart. So we're going to focus the last couple questions here on the sports card side. If anybody has any Pokemon cards that they want to throw out there, we'll definitely take a look at that too. So we're going to take a couple more questions here and get to the end of the show here. We're by about maybe 8 minutes left, but let's jump into this. What about buying, selling, investing in Lamar Jackson right now? Ravens finally got getting players off injured reserve. I don't know, man. They traded one of their best wide receivers, Hollywood Brown. I think Lamar is just the way he plays the game. He just tries to do everything himself. Kind of reminds me of Michael Vick a little bit too much, where he doesn't wait enough. Later in Michael Vick's career, I think he was actually got a little bit better in the sense of holding in the pocket, making good throws and so forth. Lamar Jackson, I don't know, man. If he I know this sounds crazy, but if he slows it down a little bit more, gets the throwing game down a little bit, those breakout plays that he has, those running plays, it'll be a little bit more effective in my mind. But they just traded arguably their best wide receiver. So I don't know. That's a tough one. Tough one. I think he's great.
Jen? He did pick up some of his cards. So
yeah, just it's hard to say because the video's coming. I have a couple of his cards. You guys are going to enjoy it. So yeah. I'm definitely a believer in him. It just, he's got to change a little bit. Anthony Edwards. Here we go. Sell now or wait till next season. I would not sell any basketball cards like Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball at all right now. If you sell Anthony Edwards right now, you are selling at a loss. It's just off season. There's just no sense. Now, here's the thing. If you feel like you made a ton of profit on it and you're okay with
taking whatever.
Yeah, taking whatever and you're up $1,000, then by all means. But in my opinion, I wouldn't sell that card right now. Ooh, Russell Wilson. New team. New weapons.
We'll see. We'll have to see.
The problem is he's in arguably the best division of football. That's going to be tough.
I like Lindsay's comment.
Oh, I'm way too far down. Here we go. Where's Lindsay at? Boom. Oh.
I would say don't buy it right off the rip. I think prices on that are going to come down.
Yeah, I think Prism football is going to be all hype right away. Look, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that I'm not going to buy a box right away because obviously we have a YouTube channel. We want to open up the product. So don't be surprised if we buy maybe one or two. But as individuals, I would not make that purchase right off the bat. I would wait till the singles come out and start buying some of the singles if you want to. You got to see the way the market's going to go. It could be a possibility, though, when that product comes out, nothing gets pulled, no big cards get pulled. Look at Flawless. Right when that triple logo man came out, that Flawless product dropped significantly. I think the same thing is going to happen with Prism football and a lot of these bigger sets that come out. The more people open and they don't pull up stuff, the prices are going to go up drastically. Right when a big card gets pulled and multiple big cards get pulled, that product's going to crash pretty quickly. So it's a guessing game, but I think you hold off a little bit on buying Prism football.
Especially with the way the market is now, I think with a lot of the high prices on Prism. I mean, $1,800 pre-order. I think I see a divisional break. We got a message about a divisional break. I think it was like $2,500 a spot.
Yeah, that
makes the case. I think the case comes out to be 12 boxes, so each box is about like $1,650. And so I'm thinking like, right off the rip, it's going to be high. I think there'll definitely be buyers for it, but eventually I think the price is gonna come down. I think a lot of card shops will get stuck with it, and if it doesn't move at the 1,800 price, they'll be willing to sell it to you.
There you go.
At a deal. So work with this.
Evan, better long-term investment: Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle? You got to go for the quarterbacks.
And I think this also applies to another comment someone asked about aside from quarterbacks, so you can kind of give your thoughts on wide receivers and stuff. So
right off the bat, even though I said it before, you got to look at the quarterbacks. Jamar Chase has a better quarterback. So when I'm talking, I think Jamar Chase is a better investment. Now to answer that second part of the question about, okay, if I'm looking at other players outside of quarterbacks, unfortunately, I still would have to look at the quarterback because you got to look at the person throwing them the ball. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. I got Tua throwing Jalen the ball, or I got Joe Burrow throwing the ball. I'm going to go roll with Joe Burrow, so I think Jamar Chase is going to be a better long-term investment. Same thing with running backs. Running backs are a little bit tough. I think it goes quarterbacks, and I think it goes wide receivers. It's hard for a running back because, like, look at Derrick Henry. Best running back in the league for multiple years, but his cards aren't really there at all, any value whatsoever. I think those backs that can be dynamic and that can switch to a slot, the smaller backs, move them around a little bit, that do a lot more catching than a lot more running. I think they have a little bit more flexibility. I don't know why that maybe is, but again, it's probably because of the quarterbacks and helping the quarterback get numbers. So that's how I would approach football. Tony, with the $5 super chat. Thoughts on
up your alley.
Yeah, right. Thoughts on WWE Prism. I pulled a 1 out of 25 GG Dolan on my first pack. That's not bad. I think NFL, it's the same thing with that we mentioned earlier about you have to have, like UFC, you have to have the fan base, the loyal fan base be a part of something. WWE Prism could have been huge, could have been epic, but it dropped so fast in value only because the actual fans of WWE were not on board. And when you don't have that investment from the enthusiasts, you're not going to have a good return on investment. So I think WWE is still crashing. Boxes started off at like $1,200, and I know you can get boxes like $600 now. So I wouldn't be surprised if box dropped to like $400. So with that being said, we're going to take, we're about in the final minute. We'll take 2 more questions. And then we'll go from there. Y'all are the best. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for coming out. You guys giving us your time. Time is the most important thing that any of us have, and we really do appreciate you guys taking a little bit of
for Garrett, I would probably hold and sell at the start of next season. Playoffs time is not a good time to sell any of cards.
All right, here we go. Who's going to be worth more in the future? Cade Barnes for Jalen Green.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a little tough. I really do believe the Pistons They got a lot of good pieces. I think the Pistons are going to be really good, really quick, probably in the next 2 or 3 years. They're going to be something special. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually make the playoffs next year. I know, call it now, my crazy prediction. Scotty Barnes is on the best team overall out of the three. Houston Rockets, man, they look terrible, and they're not getting any better. So I'd probably go Cade Barnes, Jalen Green. All right, one more question. Here we go. Last one here. Well, we talked about it earlier. Should I buy Kobe's because of the Kobe documentary coming out soon?
I would not expect his cards to jump that much more in value because of a documentary.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you want to invest in Kobe because you like Kobe. You like the investment. Don't go invest in the documentary because that could lead you to spending some stupid money.
Yeah, because people are going to be asking stupid prices because everyone's going to be expecting, oh, documentary price is going to like shoot up 2x, 3x. So I'm going to sell these, after or whatever. And then just wait till after the documentary comes out. And then when they realize their cards didn't go up like 10x, make an offer and get a nice deal on some Kobe's.
And last thing before we go, Sergio, I see your comment about Justin Jefferson. He's amazing talent. He's a better quarterback. There we go. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Deuces.
Debs.